I inhaled the sting of burnt circuits and cold, leftover Costa coffee like it was fresh air. It was 3:47 a.m. on a Monday, and while the rest of London slept through their charming little dreams, I sat in a server room colder than my ex-husband's retirement plan, watching a billion-pound heartbeat flicker across a monitor. They called me the chief systems architect, corporate slang for the person who cleans up everyone else's digital disasters. For 11 years, I'd been the only shield standing between Iron Veil Securities and an electronic meltdown. My name is Nadia Rahman. I'm 42, running on nicotine patches and spite. If you like stories where a corporate burnout lights the match and watches the tower go up in flames, then subscribe or whatever. My therapist insists sharing trauma is healing. Personally, I think revenge works faster. The firm, Iron Veil Securities, had been built by Arthur Hale. A shark, brutal but competent. He respected the machine I built, an unholy tangle of C++, and legacy scripts held together by my willpower. It made him rich enough to buy a private peninsula. When he died 8 months ago, I poured whiskey into my morning tea. Then came his son, Damien Hale, 29 years old, a trust fund mascot who thought cloud computing meant blowing vape rings from a balcony. He strutted in wearing those ridiculous padded vests that make men look like they are about to camp in a shopping mall. He brought a squad of innovators, guys named things like Braddon and Chase, who said words like synergy to hide the fact they couldn't code a print statement if you held a stapler to their heads. My routine was sacred. 3:30 a.m. arrival, check the Asian market sync, flush the cash logs, verify handshake protocols with the London Stock Exchange. The hum of the servers was the only language that made sense. Then came the Slack notification. It was 10:00 a.m. The markets were roaring. My screens glowed with cascading numbers. And then a message in hash culture. Shout-outs from Damien Hale, CEO. Let's pump some energy. What's your spirit animal this quarter? Mine's the wolf. Hash hustle, hash grind. He'd posted a deeply compressed meme of a wolf howling at the moon with motivational text that looked like it had been made in 2004. It was so painfully stupid my fingers betrayed me. I typed one word, correct. Because it was correct. He was the wolf, brainless and loud, and we were the sheep keeping his wallet soft. Turns out in a corporate frat house, even agreeing is rebellion if you don't decorate it with emojis. 10 minutes later, my desk phone rang. Not a system alert. Not a trader panicking. It was Monica Graves from HR, wearing her usual vanilla perfume and lawsuit energy. Nadia, can you step into the focus room? Damien wants a quick chat about alignment. And right there, I knew. Cold drop in my gut, I entered the glass fishbowl. Damien sat on the desk, swinging loafers that cost more than my first car. He didn't look at system reports. He didn't look at me. He looked at his phone, probably checking likes on the wolf meme. Nadia, he said without looking up, we need to talk about your vibe. I didn't sit. He went on about new direction, positive energy, and called me Nads, which nobody has ever called me unless they wanted to die. Finally, we're transitioning you out. He slid an envelope across the desk. Effective immediately. Don't worry about logging off. IT will handle removing your credentials. IT will handle it. I was IT, but I said nothing. I walked out, past rows of junior devs staring at their keyboards like they were suddenly fascinating geological specimens. 2 security guards I'd known for a decade stood by my desk. I packed my things into a cardboard box, the official symbol of corporate execution. And that's when Damien made his fatal mistake. He didn't know that the system wasn't the racks. It wasn't the terminals. It wasn't the code. The system was me. And he definitely didn't know about the little digital ghost I buried in the machine 5 years ago. A failsafe, a dead man's switch, a trap. The moment I walked out, I wasn't just leaving the company. I had already pulled the first thread that would unravel the entire empire. Lena Patel, the junior developer, had moved your desk. Literally had maintenance drag it down to the basement storage to make room for a pong table, feng shui upgrade. I laughed quietly, erasing the traces. Zane, the new tech guy, was installing a patch. He claimed the latency was uncool. He was planning to disable checksum validation to speed things up. My blood ran ice cold. Checksum validation stops the system from buying 0 shares of Apple when you meant 10. Disabling it is like removing airbags to make a car go faster. I messaged, "Do not let him do that." I tried. He called me a negative Nelly, deploying tonight. I closed the laptop, hands shaking not from fear, but pure rage. They were dismantling the engine mid-flight. By Wednesday, the internal timer for inheritance clause 47 had been ticking silently. System clock, user absence, last login 60 hours. Heartbeat failed. Legacy reversion initiated. I pictured the code executing in the shadows. Silent logic lines shifting, digital drawbridges lifting. Cloud syncs paused, waiting for a command that would never come. Did Zane notice the batch delay? Did Damien see the dashboard refresh 0? 5 seconds slower, probably not. Happy hour somewhere, toasting the new era. Friday 9:00 a.m. Luxury. Markets open at 9:30. Coffee in hand, balcony view of Oxford Street. Somewhere in that glass tower, a bomb of pure logic was ready to detonate. 9:29 a.m. Twitter/X check. Nothing yet. Bots 9:30 a.m. Opening bell. Sip of coffee. 9:31 a.m. Tweet from some date. Raid account. Yo, WTF is happening with Iron Veil execution. Orders stuck a minute. 9:32 a.m. Wall Street alternative boards. Iron Veil platform down. Can't exit positions. Losing thousands. Scam. Phone buzzed. Damien Hale calling. I let it ring. Correct, I whispered to my mug. Manual settlement mode in modern trading isn't a crash. A crash is silence, blue screen. This is constipation. Lights on, screens active. Orders hit a wall politely asking. Authorized transaction #9 273 Y/N. Queues exploded. Imagine draining the Atlantic with a straw. That was Iron Veil. Ignored Tyler. Checked CNBC. Boring. Then breaking news banner trading glitch at a major firm. Anchor touches earpiece. Chaos at Iron Veil. Liquidity frozen. Orders acknowledged, not executed. I smiled. Someone hadn't pulled the plug. They had just returned it to 2014 safe mode. Phone vibrated. Monica Graves, HR ignored. Greg Ops ignored. Zane ignored. The system was looking for a basement server we had thrown out 4 years ago. Status page, legacy protocol active. Operator override required. Current queue, 4,500,021 orders. Estimated clearing time, 14 years. 14 years, at human speed, to clear 5 minutes of trading. They couldn't patch it, they didn't know what was broken. The system was working exactly as Arthur Hale intended. Pilot dead, stop the plane. By 10:15 a.m. Client losses at £40 million. By 10:30 regulators halted trading on 3 mid-cap tech stocks. Doorbell rang. A fruit basket from HR. Automatic condolences. Pineapple inside. I took it, smiled. Thanks, Monica. Enjoy your chaos. Phone rang again. Arthur Vance, chairman, personal cell. A man who terrified even Damien. I let it ring 3 times, then picked up. Miss Rahman, why is your trading floor using paper tickets? Feet up, coffee in hand, culture pivot. I said, silence. Tyler says you sabotaged the system, planted a logic bomb. Legal drafting a subpoena. Let them draft it. Pull the employment addendum from 11 years ago. Critical infrastructure continuity. Clause 47. System is in founder protection mode. Detects architect absent, founder dead. Reverts to safest state, manual confirmation. Vance piecing it together, realizing Damien, the idiot, had fired supervision. Brooks, the blockchain kid, couldn't fix it. Locked out, intruder detected, override codes. You need Cole's token in Cayman, unavailable, cosigner, you, name your price. I smoked calm, no, I'm not working for Iron Veil. I was fired. Badge deactivated. Liability insurance void. Touch keyboard equals hacking. Not going to prison because Damien wanted a crypto bro. Full benefits retroactive. Double salary. Vance offered. I want Tyler gone. Brooks gone. Public apology. My title restored Chief Systems Architect. Seat on board. Vance quiet. Chaos outside. Start typing. I said, 4 million trades in queue. Good luck. Phone buzzed. Company. Wide email. Effective immediately. Damien Hale stepped down. Zane relieved. Nadia Rahman reinstated as Chief Information Officer and Interim Head of Operations. I grabbed the pineapple, marched through the disaster zone. Panic everywhere. Traders running. Paper flying. Walked past Damien, gray face, deflated vest. He knew. Entered the server room. Master console locked. Manual override required. Sat in my chair. Biometric scan. Beep. Identity confirmed. Raman N. Typed. Sudo/restore integrity protocol force Raman red text vanished. Cloud uplink. Reestablished. Backlog cleared. Trades executed. Hundreds of thousands, millions. Day to waterfall green. System stable. I spun the chair. We're back online. Cigarette in hand. Server lights blinking. Don't thank me, I said. Thank Arthur Hale. He knew you'd try to break his toy. I stood up and walked toward Zane. Get out of my seat. I said. He wasn't even in my seat, but he jumped like the floor was on fire. I was just following. The roadmap, he stuttered. Your roadmap was a doodle on a napkin. I said, go back to TikTok, kid. The adults are working. Zane practically ran out of the room. I looked at Vance. I want the contract on my desk by Monday. I said, and the apology email sent by 5 p.m. Today. Done. Vance answered immediately. Anything else? I glanced around. The servers were humming again. Lights blinking. The faint metallic scent of ozone filling the room. Yes, I said. Someone get me a coffee. Black. And get my desk out of the basement. The aftermath the next few weeks felt like a victory parade. The apology email went out at 4:55 p.m. That very Friday. It was glorious. We sincerely apologize for the recent operational disruption caused by an ill-advised transition strategy. Translation: we fired the one person who understood the machine, and we are morons. Damien didn't just get removed, he was erased. The board, terrified of round 2, deleted his bio from the website before he had even reached the elevator. Rumor says he moved to Dubai to open some crypto wellness center. Good for him. I hope his AC breaks and the technician asks for a biometric handshake before fixing it. Zane tried suing for wrongful termination. I sent his lawyer a log of his code commits. Changes he almost pushed into a live financial engine. Case dropped within 24 hours. Turns out attempted negligent destruction of a financial system. Doesn't look great in court. Power shift I got. My board seat. I was the only one in the boardroom wearing jeans and a hoodie. No one said a word. When I spoke, they wrote things down. When I said no, they stopped talking. But the real moment. One I'll remember forever, Monday morning. I walked onto the trading floor. Normally, ID staff are invisible ghosts drifting between terminals. But that day, the entire room went silent. Then Mike, a senior broker, started clapping. Then Aaron. Then the whole floor joined in. Not loud, not dramatic. A slow, respectful clap, acknowledgement. They finally understood who held the keys. I raised my coffee cup. Get back to work. I growled. They laughed. They did. The system hummed. Green numbers flowed. I was the wolf. They were the sheep. But at least they were safe. Where it all ended up, so that's the story. How I held £1 billion company hostage with a handful of legacy code and the refusal to be disrespected. I'm still here. Now CEO. But I still start my mornings in the server room. I trust the machines more than the people. Machines don't lie, they don't posture, they don't post wolf memes on Slack. Treat a machine right, it runs. Treat it like garbage, it stops. Simple rule. Humans could learn a lot from C++. I kept inheritance clause 47 in the code. Vance asked me to remove it. I told him I did. I lied. It's still there, buried deep. Waiting, because you never know when. The next Damien is going to stroll and trying to innovate with a blockchain idea he heard on a podcast, and when I retire or die, the system will remember me. Sometimes I pat the side of the server rack. Good girl. I whisper to all the unseen workers, the sysadmins help, desk techs, night shift cleaners, logistics people who keep the gears turning while executives take the credit. Don't let anyone treat you like a disposable line item. You are the infrastructure. Without you, they're just people in expensive suits standing in the dark. If they push you, let the system crash. Let the AC die. Let the bins overflow. Remind them who holds the keys. This is Nadia Raman, signing off. I have a sync window in 5 minutes, and I need a smoke. Thanks for sticking around, rebels. Hit subscribe, or I might trigger another little incident.